YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't see my last video, check the description box below, and it talks about how I went from being natural for more than 4 years to being relaxed. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I went from being natural to relaxed, going back to natural, which I'm in the process of doing right now. My box braids were a lot longer before, and I cut them just so I could prepare myself for possibly doing the big chop or growing it out. I'm not quite sure. Let me know your comments below what you thought about the video. So let's just get right into it. I hope you enjoy and stay tuned for more.
So we're starting way back in 2009 when I was around 13 or so when I had my very first relaxer. I feel like I had it a lot later than most people, so it wasn't exactly when I was younger. It was more so when I was in elementary school. So yeah, it looked pretty horrible. I didn't take care of it very well and I had no idea what to do. So I learned about natural hair, especially since there was this whole natural hair movement going on, and decided to transition. And I was wearing a lot of high buns during this time of 2014. So I was about 14 years old at this point, and just rocking it. And I also wore this wig because I didn't know what to do with my hair at one point. So I figured, let me try putting in a protective style. I liked this one, but the only thing is I didn't like how it felt. I felt like I couldn't get to my scalp and it felt like a weave and I hated weave, so it didn't last very long, but it was cute while it lasted. And then April 2014, I was practicing just styles on my hair more and experimenting. As you can see, I had a lot of products I was using, so became a product junkie. But I straightened it this month as well, just to see how much it had improved, and it was tremendous. It was thicker, it was healthier, and I could definitely notice a difference. And it helped to push me to keep going and trying to continue to see how much longer I can get it to be. And here was when I tried doing a braid out, and I felt like it was pretty successful after all my other failed attempts. So I was very proud of it this day. And yeah, there's not much else to say. It was just super short. That's what I could say. I didn't like that, but I still rocked it. And in May, going back to buns, I mean, I'm bunning this whole time, don't get me wrong, but I am still experimenting with it. But this is pretty much like my go-to style. I had the kind of bangs up to the side or the twist to the side, and then pulling my hair back into a high puff. At this point, a lot of my relaxed ends were gone, but I didn't like the length, and that's why I went back to box braids, or I started with box braids, and I didn't realize that over time this is actually going to be my go-to style, is in terms of protective styling, and it's still something I do to this day. Box braids are really something I find to be the most beneficial for my hair when I'm trying to let it grow. I'll never forget this day in July 2014. My sister and I went to a natural hair event in Toronto, and it was great because we were just talking all about hair care, products, maintenance, length, everything, and it was just awesome. But I hated how short my hair was, which is why later on I put it back in box braids. And this is when I was actually on vacation, so it was perfect just to have it, be up in a style, not having to worry about it. I also wore a lot of buns. And March 2015, so the following year, my hair was starting to grow out. It had so much hang time. I'll never forget this day. I was really feeling myself. I got a lot of compliments, and it was really starting to hang. Successful braid out. This is the first successful braid out. And this is just to show you I was really going crazy with the products. I bought a ton of them, and while they're good to sort of get you figuring out which ones work and which ones don't, you end up having a lot of products at the end of it, and that's what happened to me. So I had to really figure out which ones actually worked. And yeah, in April 2015, I straightened my hair that month as well, again, just to see how much progress I've made. And you can't really tell here in this picture, but it's like right above my bra strap. And I was really happy with that because obviously it had grown a lot and it was getting healthier and healthier. And I blew it out actually before I did the straightener, so the clips are kind of reversed here, but I just couldn't believe how big my hair was. It just was so voluminous, and I was never used to that. It was always so flat and dull and short, so I had to take a picture. Again, just really enjoying my hair at this point, and I was trying a lot of braid outs. This was another one. Sometimes it was a hit or miss though, because here it was a braid out, but I think I might have used a bit too much gel that day or whatever it may have been. So yeah, that's the thing I was just really struggling with was like one day a style would look good, and then the next day that same style just wouldn't look the same, and it would be hard for me to recreate that. Now, September 2015, this was my friend's wedding. Um, I planned on doing a roller set in this awesome style. I put in all this effort, and then at the end of it, my hair wasn't even dry, didn't hold any type of curl, and I was so frustrated, but I had to just let it go, and it just turned into a big puff in the end, but it worked out. So this was my go-to style. Again, the twist in the front and then pulling it back and doing the bun in the back. I really liked it this day. I felt like it was really shiny and it was moisturized, and that's one thing I really struggled with because my hair is naturally just extremely, extremely dry, especially my roots. So I'm now learning to oil them a lot more. And again, going back to those twisted buns, sometimes it was twists, sometimes it was braids. Sometimes I would actually have it in for a lot longer than it needed to be, and I wouldn't moisturize it. But still, my hair was pretty resilient and strong, so it never caused any breakage. However, when I was relaxed, that was a different story. Now, July 2016, I did the Brazilian keratin treatment. A lot of controversy over it, but I quite liked it. I felt like my hair was so much fluffier and easier to tangle, and just was more, I guess, straight, but not exactly straight. I was just looking for something to make it more manageable. And August 2016, I remember we went to the beach, and when I came out, my hair was in this nice style here, and I felt like it just looked really cute. A lot of shrinkage, but I didn't mind it. And this is the same month in August that we're talking about. My hair was just really defined here, and I think it might have had to do with that keratin treatment. I was really liking my hairstyle this day. It was just nice and big, but at the same time, I did want it to hang. And I think that's why I ended up getting the relaxer. My very first relaxer, September 26th, there was 2016, and it was finally long. I could see my length. I can run my hands through my hair. It made all the difference in the world. And I felt like I just looked so much better. I felt so much more confident, and I wasn't going to be spending as much time on my hair. In October, I did a braid out this day, and I think it turned out really nicely. I found out that I was doing a lot of braid outs, bantu knot outs, things like that, instead of just keeping it straight all the time. Gave it more body and more volume, but it also made it look a little bit shorter. And December 2017, again, my relaxed hair, and this at this point I straightened it. This is when I got engaged. My husband proposed to me, and I told myself I wouldn't straighten it again because it just looks so limp and flat, and I was not used to that compared to my natural hair, which was always so big and had so much volume. So, yeah, that was like the only con I noticed at this point was just that sometimes it looked limp. This day we were in Cuba in January, and I remember just washing my hair and letting it air dry, and my hair would just have so much volume, even relaxed. And this was when I felt like my hair was the healthiest in its relaxed state because it didn't require much work and it looked much better, in my opinion, versus the previous picture that you saw. And this is February 2017. I did a roller set on my hair. It turned out great, but this is one of those styles where even though I tried to recreate it by writing it down and following it to the T, I was never able to achieve the style again. It was sort of just something I was able to enjoy for one day. Super frustrating. I don't know if it's just me that goes through that problem, but yeah, it was frustrating. And this was the closest I got to recreating that style. It was okay, and I liked it, but just it wasn't the same as the previous one. And now we're fast forwarding all the way to our wedding day. It was an amazing day, but to be honest with you, I didn't love my hair this day. I just felt like it looked limp again, and I think that's because the straightener or the hairdresser straightened my hair, and my edges were just thin and they were getting wispy. And yeah, I just didn't feel like it looked as good as when I first relaxed my hair. And keep in mind, I didn't just relax it once, I relaxed it more than once. I think about a couple times or so at this point, but I still had the length that you can see here. And after our wedding, we went to Greece for our honeymoon, and my hair it was just falling apart. It was shedding constantly. Every time I combed it, the hair would just constantly keep coming out, and that was, well, no, like it wasn't normal for me. And the back of my head was so thin, like the lower portion of my hair, that she had to put a track in to make my the rest of my hair look full. And I didn't even straighten it at this point. This is how my hair just naturally looked. My hair was just always limp. I lost the body, and my edges were just all thinning because I was bunning my hair a lot, and it wasn't as strong and resilient as my natural hair was, so it just fell apart. So once I got back from the vacation, I put my hair back in box braids, and they're still in there now. I'm going to keep them in there until February and just try to grow out the natural hair as best as I can. I'm using my DIY leave-in conditioner and oiling my scalp every other day or daily, whatever it needs. And I'm really just trying to relearn and get better at taking care of my hair again. So I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and bear with me. I'm getting the videos up as fast as I can. Right now, I am just struggling with uploading and editing and just learning this whole process. So I hope you stick around, subscribe, and look forward to another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.